afternoon, Stitch Roadies. I am here. Oh, it has been already a month, and it's only into the second week of the month. I think it's the second week. What is it? It's only the 9th. Oh my gosh. But it's my birthday month, and so if you're new, I get a little self-centered this time of year because I celebrate my birthday all month long. And the month started off with a bang. Let me just start from the beginning. I hear Julie Andrews' song in my head. Anyhow, I just came back a couple of days ago from a trip to Southern California with my grandchildren. I have 3 of them currently in, let's see, one turned 5 on the trip, and then there's an 8-year-old and a 13-year-old. Yes. And we went down to Southern California to not only do the entire amusement park insanity, but to visit my cousins. And it was over the top. Let me just say, it was over the top. There were so many things that I learned about myself that, the kids had a great time. It was not the same as the e-ticket rides I remember, if some of you remember those. For a 5-year-old to wait 45 minutes in a line, you were lucky to get 6 rides a day. And but they were all great, and they had a great time. I was just exhausted because I must have walked 8 to 10 miles a day. I swear I must have walked 8 to 10 miles a day on concrete. And I couldn't believe the amount of people. So let me just start at the beginning. We flew separately in terms of that the family with the younger 2 grandchildren flew separate from me and my older grandson. And so when my older grandson and I were, this is a channel about cross-stitch. I just want to make that clear if you're new. I just tend to ramble at the beginning, but I will be getting to a lot of cross-stitch eventually. So if you decide to hang in there, welcome, and thank you for trying me out. I am not everybody's cup of tea, but I might be yours. So just hang in there because I have a lot to share that has nothing to do with cross-stitch, but eventually I'll get to it. So where was I? Okay, my older grandson and I were flying out of the Portland, Oregon airport down to Santa Ana. And my cousin was picking us up there. So while we were at the Portland airport, I was sitting there and I noticed, I'm looking for something here. Oh, here it is. I noticed a gentleman across from me that was reading a book. And I caught the author of the book as he flipped the pages. And if there's one thing about my personality is there is no one that is a stranger to me. I tend to just blab on to whoever's around me. And so I noticed that he was reading an author that I was familiar with and that I had just purchased a book by this author. And so I asked him, I said, can I ask you which of the C.S. Lewis books you're reading? And I could tell he immediately wanted to engage in conversation. His name is Joel. And it was this one, A Grief Observed. Now, I said, why did you pick this book to read? And he said he had just lost his wife in August and that they had just had wonderful memorial service for her in Portland, and now he was flying down to Santa Ana because they used to live there a long time ago, and they have a lot of family and friends down there, so they were going to have another service. And we had an absolute lovely conversation. And so what I can say from that experience is take the risk. Those serendipitous conversations with perfect strangers, sometimes there's always a learning, whether it's good or bad, there's always a learning curve to it. And so, yeah, on my reading list, he talked to me a little bit about the book, and he was taking notes. I just love, first of all, I loved that he was reading, not a Kindle, but it was an actual book. I mean, it's not a big book, but it's an actual book. Yeah, because we're big book people. Yeah, so then the flight down was fabulous. And we met up, my cousin picked us up, and we did all the amusement parks. I only did, I did not go down to Legoland. The younger family, the younger grandkids went to Legoland, while my older grandson and I and my two cousins went to Universal Studios. I'm not used to that amount of people. There was a lot of people. And I think the grandkids had a great time. They had a great time. And then we were able to, one evening, my cousin picked us up, and one evening we went out and had dinner at a restaurant that one of my cousins is the executive chef at. And oh my gosh, was it fabulous. It was fabulous. Yum. And she got a little birthday cake thing, and she made all these vegan dishes that were absolutely fabulous. So, yeah, coming home, bittersweet to leave the cousins behind. I had such a great time, but so glad to be back. So glad to be back. I did take a cross-stitch project with me. I only touched it once. But it did get touched. It did get touched. So when I came back, I was trying to recover a bit, and it seems like I've been sleeping a lot. I mean, we shared a room. So my younger son and his wife, there were two queen beds. My younger son and his wife in one bed. I was in the other bed. My youngest grandson was sleeping on a pillow bed on the floor of our bedroom. And then in the little kitchenette living room that it was in this suite was a couch that folded out for the older two. Yeah. So it was, and one bathroom. Yeah. It was quite the vacation, I need a vacation from the vacation, basically. Anyhow, so when I got back, I decided to go to Acorns and Threads for their stitch day. It was, I didn't know if I was going to make it. I was so tired, but I thought it had been so long since I had been to Acorns and Threads that I really wanted to go. So I did go, and I'll tell you all about that. And we will have a question, answering the questions that were put in the last video. I love that. I love the ability that you put questions in the comments that you're interested in hearing my perspective or getting an answer from me or making me step up to the plate, and I can then share it with all of you in the next video. I'm really liking that. But drum roll, please. I finished my designated stitch. Now, the designated stitch was a primitive hare. I was just looking for, oh yeah, I brought it here. It was in this beautiful little bee bag. It was a primitive hair that was in this booklet that I got at Acorns and Threads. I am definitely doing this one. I think I told you that last time. But it was the summer house. Now, I chose not to put the word summer house. That didn't do anything for me. And I left out the back stitching that was around the door and that chain stitch that was at the bottom. But I chose a different fabric. The one thing about Acorns and Threads is that she has a lot of that interesting pre-printed fabric that's by the Primitive Hair. It's fun fabric, but I didn't use the fabric. Let me just show you again. The fabric that she chose for that particular project, if you see in the background, it's bees printed on it. I didn't choose that. I chose a different fabric that they had at Acorns and Threads, and I absolutely love it. So here it is, all done. And you can see that it's printed with this lovely, lovely print around the center. So I wanted to make the house the focal point and have that printed fabric show up. But I wasn't sure how I want to fully finish this. And I had this idea of maybe making it into a quilted wall hanging that I could hang, because you know I was doing all bee theme in my laundry room. I just thought that'd be so cute, and it'd make me want to do the laundry, which is not my favorite thing. So I was trying to think about using some bee fabric around and how I would quilt it, and lo and behold, when I went to Stitch Group yesterday, my friend Pat, who is a regular at Stitch Group, brought in a whole bunch of small cross stitches that I believe she said her niece cross-stitched and quilted and made wall hangings out of them, and she was just giving them away. So you don't have to keep everything you cross-stitch. And obviously, it's about the process for her and the enjoyment. And she fully finished them all. But there must have been 15, maybe more, of these that we could each pick out one. But Pat thought I would enjoy this one, which I do. But here's the deal. She put quilting fabric around the edge and made a hanger for it. So look at that. Is that not adorable? I mean, my mind was blown because I thought, this is exactly what I was thinking about doing with that one. And so I looked at how she did this, and she mitered the corners and then just machine sewed it down. It's gonna focus on there, maybe not, but oh my gosh, perfect timing, perfect timing. And it feels like there's like fusible on the back, and then maybe a lightweight batting or something, but isn't that cute? And look at that cross stitch, just so cute. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. I thought this idea landed in my lap at the perfect time. Okay, so that meant a new designated stitch. Yeah, what to choose for a new designated stitch. So I went through all my whips and I looked at them, and I found the perfect one. And it's by Tiny Modernist, and it was a a 5-part mystery series back in 2020. I didn't print out the full picture, the final full picture, because it came out in 5 different parts. But this gives you an idea of what it looked like. It's called Halloween Ouija. And I believe my friend Sandy did this and finished it. I believe that she did. So here we go. So since I got home, there we go. I had all of this done, except this was not done. I had the 4 moons. So when I got home, I stitched her, and now I've started into this square here. But previously, I had done this much. I had already framed it out. So this is the perfect designated stitch for this month. I know that a lot of cross stitchers like to stitch ahead of the holiday. I can't quite get my brain and heart to wrap around it. I want to stitch the holiday in the month, so I'm always going to be behind, but it'll be done for the next holiday. And so I'm very much enjoying this stitch, very much enjoying it. And that was the Tiny Modernist Halloween Ouija. Halloween Ouija, yeah. Okay, so what can we talk about next? When I went to Acorns and Threads yesterday, I was trying to decide what project I was going to take to stitch on, and I decided I was going to take my birthday stitch. Now, I did not start a cross stitch on my birthday. This is how it went. On my birthday, I thought, what am I going to start? You know, we always want to have something special on our birthday. And I thought, what am I going to want to do as my start? And then I thought about it, and I thought, what did I start last year in 2024 on my birthday? And so I pulled out my old book of days, and I looked, and I said, oh, where is that project? Yeah, where is that project? It was Emmeline. It was because it was a hat, Hands Across the Sea, and because it was an exclusive to Acorns and Threads, and we all got on board because Portland's moniker is the Rose City, because literally you don't have to do anything to grow roses here. They are prolific. They love the climate, and we have a whole park that's just a test rose garden that is lovely. So if you ever come to Portland, it is on the side of the river. Remember, over the mountain or across the river. It's on the side of the river as Acorns and Threads. And there's this huge park complex, including the Portland Zoo, a children's museum, the Japanese garden, and the Rose Garden, which is like a test garden. And that's why we're called the Rose City. So I pulled this out. And literally, last year, I had maybe 20 stitches. And so I said, okay, I'm not going to start a new thing. I'm going to stitch on my 2024 birthday stitch. And I was only going to be stitching this center bouquet. And I'm doing it on 40 count. I don't know what it is. I know that it is, Janine probably would know, but I'm doing soie d'Agé threads, and I love those threads. I have to say, they go through the fabric like butter. I do believe this is 40 count. And so when I was looking at it, I realized that I had printed out the stitch sheet, and I was using a highlighter pen to mark where I had stitched. And I thought, this is kind of cumbersome. Maybe I should try to load it into GoodNotes, which Cheryl from A Maker's Life helped me get good notes on my iPad. So I went to find my iPad. I had to charge it up. And I opened it up, and I was trying to figure out, how do I load this? And it was already loaded in there. Cheryl must have done it. I had to laugh. And so I took this project and my iPad to Acorns and Threads because I literally could not remember how to use GoodNotes. But Janine is a savant. So she not only figured out how I can use the GoodNotes with my finger, because the little pen, I don't know how to charge it up, and it wasn't charged up. She also was able to pair my phone to my car. Yeah, I mean, it was a win-win day. But so I made look at how it's just ever so tiny, but I love it. And I really bonded to that iPad GoodNotes. Although another stitcher that was there, she was using, let's see, I have GoodNotes. She was using the other one. And the thing about the other one that she was using is that when you set a goal and you reach the goal, confetti comes up on the screen. I'm kind of a needy person that way. I wanted confetti, so anyhow, that is my birthday stitch, and it's in this beautiful bag. Yeah, I don't know if Janine still has some of these panels. I know she probably has the charts and all the kits and stuff, but Soie d'Angers, this first time I'm using it, I love it. I love it. It goes through the thread very easy. But when I got there, you know, I sat down, I'm doing all the stitching and stuff, and I checked my box because I have a mailbox at Acorns and Threads. Yeah. I warned G before I left that I was buying myself a present there. I'm buying, you know, yes, I did get birthday presents from him, but I wanted to buy myself a present. If you can't be your own best friend, what the heck? And I am going to get to the questions soon, so hang in there. But in my mailbox there were 2 gift certificates, and what did I do with, oh. And I spent them, naturally, I spent them both, and I purchased my gift certificates. I have the stuff here someplace. Yeah. It's here. Oh, I bet you I put it in here. Did I put it in here? Anyhow, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Thank you for the gift cards. I know one was from Skeets. I cannot believe she's such an enabler. And one was from Gloria. I believe that is right. I will, as soon as I find the cards. So I spent those gift cards. I spent them so fast. Because the problem is that because I have a mailbox there, when I've wanted something that's like either you have to order it or someone sends me something, it ends up in that mailbox, and so I have to check. And there was like 2 gift cards, and I'm like grilling Janine where'd these come from? And she goes, well, it's written on the outside. Lori wrote the names. You can figure it out. Anyway, I also got this package mailed there. And I was looking at the name and I'm going, who the heck is this, Michael? Who is this? Well, it turned out to be from Angie at Lunchbox Quilts. Now, if you've ever heard of, well, if you've ever gone to the attic, then you know who Angie is, because she frequently is a customer there. And she is good friends with Jem, who has a floss tube also. And when I was there at the last retreat, Angie, who has Lunchbox Quilts, which is an embroidery quilt company, gave Jem a project bag that was right up my alley. And so she agreed to send me the components, because I don't have an embroidery machine. She could have sent, you can order the pattern and make your own, but if you don't have the machine, like Cheryl of Maker's Life, she has an embroidery machine. She can just whip stuff up. But I do not. I have a regular sewing machine. So she said she would send me the piece to already embroidered. I was so excited. So I have to make my own project bag. But look at this. Isn't that cute? It is so cute. And she sent me the fabric for the rest of the bag. So I've got some sewing to do. And 2 additional embroidered pieces that I'm going to figure out. I'm thinking I'm going to make this into a needle book. But look at that. It's incredible. It's incredible. So if you are an embroiderer, especially if you're a machine embroiderer, this is right up your alley. And it's Angie at Lunchbox Quilts, and I'll put the link down below. So that was, I totally forgot that she said she was going to send it to me. And now I'm like, oh my God, I have so many fun things to do. Okay, so where are we? I finished reading the Revenge of the Tipping Point. Oh my gosh, it's eye-opening. Yeah, and I would recommend that book to everyone. After I was done with that, I went on to I went on to listen, because I was traveling. I went on to listen to another book, and it was The Day I Ate Whatever I Wanted by Elizabeth Berg. Now, I remember that I've read some books by Elizabeth Berg before, I believe. And I thought the title was funny, The Day I Ate Whatever I Wanted. And the very beginning of the book was, I mean, I laughed out loud at one point because she's describing sitting in a hotel with a very misplaced mirror, and she looks like a naked toad on the toilet. I laughed out loud because that literally is the hotel in Mesa, Arizona. But after that, I just started losing pleasure. And so which doesn't happen very often, I returned the book to the library. And I moved on to Behave, which is not a fiction book, by Robert Sapolsky. And I'm enjoying that book. So there's my book review. Okay, next, questions and answers. Okay. This one I do not know the answer to. I'm asking all of you, if any of you know how, if you could put it in the comments. So Sarah asked, how do you give a thumbs up when you're watching a YouTube on television? I don't know how to do that. I know people do it, but I don't know how. I tend to just take my phone out and go to that video and give them a thumbs up without watching the video on my phone. But if anybody knows how you do that on television, just put it in the comments. Sarah and I want to know. Okay. Beth asked, do I still stitch wool? Definitely. Still stitching wool. It's a struggle here because I like it all. It's kind of like going to, if you remember going to the Chinese palace all-you-can-eat smorgasbord. This is the craft smorgasbord. I pretty much like it all. And so it's whatever mood strikes me and wherever I go, but I do have a lot of wool stitching in my life, and I suspect I will have more because Janine from Acorns and Threads and I are traveling to Primitive Gatherings, which is the mecca of wool stitching. Yeah. Okay, Carrie asked about the projects hanging on the wall behind me. Okay, so this is a Sue Spargo wool project that's Cuppa. This is a cross stitch I did I finished it in 2024, Blessings Be Thine. I think this is a blackbird design. And that bird thing with the thread hanging there, I have dreams of, it's a pre-printed quilt panel that I have dreams of taking that silk thread and over stitching on it. And then this is Abe Lincoln that Colleen from Stitching with the Sisterlies machine applique, and I'm still trying to figure out what to do. And then special cards that have been sent to me, and a badge for Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit that Audrey made me when I can't find my badge that was issued to me. And that's what's on my design wall right now. Yes. So there you go. Maureen asked about framing. And Karen also asked, do I frame with glass or no glass? It depends on the project. My wall, which I hang a lot of my cross stitch on, is right below a heater vent. And so I tend to put glass on that because of the dust blowing out. But it really depends. Like the cross stitch that was gifted to me from Terry, that had all this beading, so no glass. There are some that I think the glass, even it used to be you could get like a museum or non-glare glass. It's not quite as good as it used to be. It's kind of like vegetables. When you go to the grocery store, my vegetables don't last as long as they used to. And I feel like the quality, there's still a little bit of glare. So if it's a light project, I tend to put glass on it. But if it's a darker project, and depending on where it hangs, so I don't really have an answer. I'm a momentarily make a decision. Yeah. But I do pay attention to where I'm going to hang it and where the dust or sunlight or glare or all of that that's going on. So I don't have a hard, fast rule. Okay. E. Martin asked about this chair. This is, I think it's a Danish design. It's a stressless chair. And it was, it really is good on your back. And it has a footstool. And it reclines if you wanted it to. Here I don't. And we had 2 of them that we've been hauling around with us. There's actually a store. There was a store in Portland that just sells these stressless chairs. And they're good for your back. But the problem we ran into is when G had his surgery this year, he couldn't sleep in the bed initially, and so he needed to sleep in this chair. And one night in this chair, it doesn't recline like a recliner does, but it's great for stitching. And it's that type of chair that you really go into the store and you sit and they measure, so they've got your hold on a second. Sorry for that interruption, but that was a call I had to take. So where was I? Talked about the chair. Oh, it seemed like there was a lot of good response about next year doing a kitted project a month. And I don't want this to be stressful for anybody. This is just all good fun, and I know that there are some times that I will fall off the wagon. Susan said that she liked the idea, but the whole idea of doing it every month, a month, was too stressful, so she's doing it every other month. But I'm going to think up of a hashtag that we could use, and I think whatever you want to do is a good thing. But I have so many kitted up things, and I kitted up another one yesterday, which I will show you, that I think I'd feel good about, especially since I have the designated stitch, which has been phenomenal for my self-esteem. It has been phenomenal. I mean, to get a big project done, it's just, yeah. So, I'm going to plan on starting a kitted item, and it could be any. It doesn't have to be seasonal or fit the month, or just whatever I'm in the mood for. Just start one kitted project each month, which means I have to keep working on these projects because I like to have appropriate project bags. Yes. So what happened yesterday at Acorns and Threads? I shopped. I did my birthday shopping. Yes. And there were things in my box. Oh, and I found my gift card envelopes, and that was Glorian and Skeet. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I spent it. I spent it. Yes. So I apparently, and I vaguely remember this, I purchased, or I requested, a chart that I had seen on Instagram or someone else's floss tube that I absolutely loved. And it was a little back ordered, so it had just come in. And you know me, I love a Quaker. I love a Quaker. And so this is by Modern Folk Embroidery, Love Thy Neighbor. It's a 2020. So I got this, Janine ordered it from Acorns and Threads, and I had requested some lakeside linen, because who doesn't love that? And it's called Vintage Buttercream. Yes, I mean, look at that. It's so pretty. This is what I'm going to do this project on. And the price that's on here was for 2 pieces. I mean, she cut it in half and serged it for me because I love a serged linen. But here is, and we went around the shop because I knew that I wanted to use this lakeside linen for this project, and trying to find, and it's 40 count, trying to find what color I might like for this. So here we go again. Love thy neighbor. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? This is Silken Colors, the Thread Gatherer, Chocolate Caramel. Oh, I'm drooling. I'm absolutely drooling. It's so gorgeous. This is going to be such a fun project. I'm in love. So I have a new kitted thing to start up for next year. And I kind of, oh, I hear a siren. I kind of decided that I need a new project bag for my birthday. And because what a great gift. And this is a bag by Corey, who is the bag maker for Acorns and Threads, and I love her bags. And so here it is. Look at how pretty it is. Fall colors. I'm in love with this. Isn't that gorgeous? And it has the little charm on it hanging with the maple leaf. Oh, so gorgeous. So yeah, that's it. That's what I've been doing. I'm ready to stay home and kind of enjoy myself. I don't have anything in the near future. I know it's open house this weekend at Acorns and Threads. I've got a soccer game. My 8-year-old has got a soccer game, I believe, so I'm going to do that. He's got a fun run, fundraiser run, so a lot of grandchildren things to do, and yeah, just staying busy, So I hope you'll celebrate all month with me. I'm enjoying myself. Portland is just in its glory right now because it's fall, and so with the many trees as we have, it's a riot of fall colors, which truly is my favorite season. I know for many of you it's the same. I this morning went about and started really, I hadn't had time before, but I really started putting out the fall decorations, the Halloween. There's a guy down the street, I'm not kidding you. It's like his house threw up Halloween. I've never seen so many Halloween decorations. I might have to take a picture of that and put it on the video. Maybe I'll go down there. We'll see. Anyhow, thank you for hanging out with me. If you be so kind as to subscribe and give me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And you all take care until we see you next time. And you know,